What up, YouTube? It's the guy who reviews classic action movies on YouTube. Spike Robot here with another video. This time, a live review of a movie called Joshua Tree, also known as Army of One, but I honestly think Joshua Tree is a more fitting title, but that's beside the point. Joshua Tree is an action, crime, drama, mystery movie that was released on March 27th, 1993. I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie, but I've seen it. This is actually the first movie I ever saw with Dolph Lundgren. Let's see if it's good, by starting, as always, with the story. The story follows Wellman Anthony Santee, who gets framed for the death of his friend Eddie Turner. He is sent to prison, but escapes afterwards, and takes a police officer named Rita Merrick hostage. Santee is out for revenge against a corrupt cop and to clear his name and destroy any hostiles that come his way. Yeah, it sounds like a formulaic action movie. Well, it is the formulaic action movie that ended up being one of my favorite movies. Every fucking thing I say on this channel is completely honest, even in moments of sarcasm. While it may seem like a story you've heard before, I think it actually does a unique take on it, and adds things to it that make it very enjoyable. I fucking love the fact that Rita goes from being a hostage to an accomplice. It takes the story in a completely different direction. I genuinely thought that Rita would just hate Santee for the rest of the movie, but she actually ends up falling for him, and I actually believe that she did. It was not some fucking contrived situation that the writers felt like they had to include a love interest. It was very genuine, because Santee and Rita actually have a lot in common. Rita even expands on this during a downtime scene that I will come back to a few times in this review. But first, let's explain what they have in common. They're both moody, angry, and can be quite cold at times, even to each other. But they also have a good amount of moral decency. After all, Rita is a cop, and Rita is a cop. And actually, that's not corrupt at all. And Santee didn't really do anything wrong. Santee and Rita can also hold their own in a fight, even though Rita does not do as much fighting as Santee. She still does some fighting, though. I actually can relate to a lot of these traits, so that just makes it fucking better for me. Now, in the downtime scene, Rita says that Santee is not a nice person, and lists some reasons why, but then she says that she's not a nice person either. And I can definitely see where she's coming from. While people can be harsh at times, that does not mean there's never a reasonable catalyst for it. For being harsh. right after Rita says this, comes a sex scene. That is really good. And it always gives me a fucking great feeling. Even though there's no nudity in it, it still manages to get my cock really hard. I am not exaggerating at all. There are two more things that I want to say about the story. One, it is another movie that succeeds in making you love the protagonist a lot more than the antagonist. While the corrupt cop may be entertaining to some, I think he's an obnoxious bastard. He causes so much pain and suffering, but justifies it all by saying it's all for enforcing the law. He also makes up a bullshit story about how Santi killed one of the cops when clearly he killed that cop himself. You probably all already know this, but I'll say it anyway. That is inexcusable. Really goddamn inexcusable. The former associate of Severance, Jimmy Shoeshine, is also a pretty horrible bastard, if I remember correctly. Okay, 2. I like that during the downtime scene, Santi and Rita see a Joshua tree. They give some fascinating observations of it, and it starts off a very rich scene with a mix of emotion and hot aspects in 2 of the definitions of the word hot, if you know what I mean. It also, of course, fits in perfectly with the title of the movie. This story is just so fucking awesome. It really is. Well, I thought it was. Also, okay, as for the action scenes, they are fucking awesome. You are given plenty of gunshots, a few explosions, a brutal fight scene, and tons of blood. All with slick editing. The action is more than goddamn satisfying. As for the production values, the cinematography, editing, and sound are pretty good, but the music is really good and unique. Finally, a score that's not forgettable. Overall, Joshua Tree is actually a great movie. With an amazing story, awesome action scenes, and decent production values. The only flaws that I can think of are just minor bits of dialogue that can make me uncomfortable, although I'm kind of nitpicking here. I recommend at least watching this movie. I actually got it. You might be surprised by it. I actually got it on Blu-ray for Christmas one year, and it might have been one of the best Christmas gifts I ever got. I give Joshua Tree 5 out of 5 stars, with the title of Epic. Anyway, I'm Spike Robot. Thank you all for watching, and see you later.